Well, joining us here now in studio is Marc Owen Jones, the Associate Professor of Middle East Studies at Hamad Bin Khalifa University. Good to have you with us again, just to analyse what's going on through the day. Imran was, suggesting, as we all have in our conversations about this issue of Israel dragging Iran into this after that attack on the consular office in Damascus. And Israel knows that when it comes to the issue of Iran, it will always be backed by the US, and that's been reconfirmed by Blinken's ironclad guarantee. Is that always set in stone?
I think it's pretty hard to see the US abandoning Israel. And I think given the current politics of Iran, over the past 5 years since the Trump administration, Biden hasn't done much to actually reestablish the JCPOA agreement. So Biden has been continuing the US relationship with Iran in the same way as his predecessor. So I don't think we're going to see that change. And I think but Netanyahu knows that by attacking Iranian soil, he is going to create a battle of rhetoric. The Iranians are going to increase their threats, their verbal rhetoric to threaten Israel, which they are doing. And we've seen the supreme leader even participate in this. And simply by doing that, that's going to necessitate a US response, as we have seen, with the Biden reaffirming his commitment to defending Israel. And of course, this also undermines Biden's previous criticisms of Netanyahu, because he's gone from saying, hey, I'm being firm with Netanyahu, we need to get aid to the Gazans, to basically going down a different tack and say, hey, we will always support Israel. So what message did that send? That sends the message to Netanyahu that it doesn't matter really what Netanyahu does. At the end of the day, Biden is going to unequivocally support what Israel does. So really that takes the pressure off Netanyahu to try and, for example, resolve the aid situation in Gaza, and certainly takes the pressure off to try and find a political solution here, which Hamas are trying to look for in their call for a ceasefire.
Indeed. There's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of angst at the moment. We have to be very careful about what we say in terms of what may happen next, because we don't know.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, there are lots of moving parts. And when you have this scenario and this conversation happening from Israel about what they intend to do, what they want to do, and how they're going to react, this makes the neighbourhood nervous.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing at the moment that much comment from Amman, from Cairo, from Riyadh. I'm just wondering what the thought process there was, knowing that they're all involved in the negotiations to try and find a peace, pause or ceasefire in the current war on Gaza.
Well, I think no one in the neighbourhood, so to speak, wants a regional escalation. And I think Amman, we see it in Riyadh, are being extremely cautious, because anything they say now can actually be interpreted in such a way as to potentially jeopardise or harm the negotiations that are going on between Qatar, Hamas, Israel and Cairo. So I think there is an element of caution then. And, I think people are also uncertain. There is, like you said, there's a lot of moving parts. And a lot of the things that have happened have been hard to predict. For example, the assassination of Ismail Hania's children and grandchildren was something that people didn't necessarily expect. So I think there is a level of not just caution, but actual, perhaps, an inability to actually know what to do. And there's traditionally this notion that, US leadership in the Middle East, despite being problematic, is something that a lot of the Arab states have kind of sought as important. But now the US are equivocating, and I think the states in the region are actually not sure necessarily what to do with that. Right? So I think it's creating this kind of leadership vacuum. There is a leadership vacuum, and people are looking to Tehran, Netanyahu and Biden to see how this is going to end.
We'll see what happens for the moment. Marc Owen Jones, thank you.
Thank you.